Yeah, and that's part of the issue that Nongshim have been running into. Let's see whether they can deal with it as we get into the draft here for game number 1. Humble Life Esports will be on the blue side, but first pick will go over to Nongshim, and they will be taking away the Orianna. No weird experiments like we saw in our previous series, and the Varus and Karma both going to be dealt with as well. Is this going to be a Rumble ban? Are we going to have normal bans?
I think so. I think it's going to be normal bans.
See whether it does actually happen. We still need them to find that Rumble button. It's King
no
of Zeus. You have to ban
no
Rumble,
trickery,
right?
no silly trading. Just playing it very normally here. I think there's a little bit of wiggle room for Nongshim Red Force on red side here. Okay, let's see Cassiopeia first to ban like Jarvan, for example, away from Kanavi if they don't want to pick it first. Just because Kanavi is the best Jarvan in the LCK. And that is what they decide to do. A lot of teams do this against Humble Life Esports, kind of like Carrier's Bard. You just don't let him have it.
Yep, it's one of those rules. And so this should theoretically be a Rumble ban, but it could be an Ashe ban or something like that. Lucian, like the Ezreal that we've seen be very highly prioritized, and they could let the Rumble go through, and that is exactly what they're going to do here. Zeus, I imagine, is one of our players that are very happy to play into the Rumble. His Cassante is something that he is always very good at. And we've seen this get through so many more times because the answers are now there.
Yeah, now you get to have the counter pick for Zeus early in the draft as well as...
like Vel'Koz. That's a great answer to the Rumble.
Maybe he's looking for the Vi button, but I don't think so. Sponge could play Vi, but Rumble Vi has just not been that popular amongst our teams right now.
Yep, obviously Xerath is the choice, as Brad is going to be picked up here for bluffing. He was bluffing.
I didn't get to cast bluffing last time, so I'm excited for what
yeah, neither did I.
I jumped on the train early. Now that you had your turn,
yeah,
most people would think we're probably just done right there. But we got a whole best of 3.
Exactly, and it's going to be a long one.
If he was going to pick Wukong here, they're likely leaning towards a Wukong Annie, but this is going to be the Xin. So they give Rumble, but what they get in return is pretty insane.
Yeah, especially for a team with Kanavi. I feel like Xin just goes up in power, but Lucian Melio off the back end of this? That's a lot of power. And this is also Diablo's Lucian, and this guy is pretty good at the champ.
You know who's good at Caitlyn, though? Oh, there he is. That was it. It's him.
Oh,
it's
right there. Yeah. The camera guy knew.
I do feel like Caitlyn Bard can be a pretty strong matchup here into the Melio Lucian. Jhin,
that's
also
another one.
Fine in this matchup for sure. Not going to have as much of a hard pushing lane, but Jhin is at 61% win rate right now. A lot of those wins are Gumayushi's, as should come as no surprise to anyone.
Pretty good at this
I think Vi is probably your first ban here as Hanwha Life into this Lucian, Rumble, Melio composition. Probably the most likely. You do not want Sponge to be playing.
I would agree.
That's how I feel.
That's a pretty good option.
We'll see how Home feels about it. He's more worried about Sponge's Lee Sin, which I find weird, but also somewhat comforting.
Yeah, on this patch, I feel like a lot of people have been gravitating towards Lee Sin a whole lot more, even though we have seen, you know, ups and downs for the champ. Raptor looked really good on it earlier today, as the ride's going to be taken away from Zeka.
Pick priority is Hanwha Life Esports', so if you feel like there's a safe mid or top pick, you probably want to ban it here. And, like, Rumble into Cassante feels like the direction we're heading here, just because of the Jhin pick that they already have. So maybe that's something they decide to ban away, but then it leaves a lot of mid and top open.
Oh, Pantheon. Okay. So now
Vi is very likely.
Yeah, and I'm a little bit frightened, Wolf, because now you can, as Nongshim, just lock in the Ahri, and then there's no way for Humble Life Esports to pick away the Vi, and then you've got an incredibly robust top side of the map, and one of the better early to mid-game bottom lane duos. They could just run away with the game.
Just go all the way
very early.
They just ban Lissandra right here. They're like, yeah. I think they'll probably ban a top pick. They'll ban the Jace.
Yep.
Okay. You know, we mentioned Shiu's Jace. We weren't super stoked about. Zeus is one that is allowed to be played. Especially in a matchup like the Rumble matchup. I think he's going to play Cassante.
That's what I'm assuming.
You could change the identity of this draft massively and go for Yorick and like Galio, or, you know, there's so many different things you can do instead. He's going to play the Yorick, which is quite powerful if you have any sort of global mid, which there are a few, like the Gallo I mentioned, but also the Talia.
Twisted Fate.
Twisted Fate, also available. Good call. This Vi Ari angle is quite strong if you trust it. Vi Annie also,
Yep, that'll
similar
work.
story. Even easier to play in this draft, it feels like.
I feel like you could also play Nocturne if you'd like to. But the Wukong, I mean, this is Rise Group, baby. Nongshim,
baby.
they really wanted to be Rise Group last year. They got very, very close to it, and by really wanted, they definitely didn't. They were happy to be in the Legend Group, but still, this is the essence of Rise Group that they're accepting as the Akali for Zeka. That's why Jijik Lolpark just exploded. This guy is pretty good at this champion. I think I know which skin he's going to use.
Is it okay if I take the nameplates off? I am very confused by Hanwha's draft, but if I put them on, I'm like, oh, okay, I got it.
Yep, no, that's absolutely okay.
Because it's a draft that has like a lot of frontline and engage in the Xin, and like the Yorick is going to be getting up into the thick of things, but it doesn't have that much synergy with Bard. Like you have the great laning phase from it, and Guliwall can kind of synergize with it. Jhin can sometimes capitalize on it. You have this Akali pick doesn't have a lot of setup that's playing into Rumble, which doesn't feel all too great. And the draft on the other side for Nongshim is like super simple. You have the Wukong, you have the Annie. And it's very easy to play around the Akali if you don't make big mistakes. I just put the nameplates on and I'm like, oh, these are some of the best players to have ever played these champions. And I'm a little bit concerned about what that means.
Yeah, I think that you might be onto something. It's just
bluffing world's best Bard. Come on. What are they going to do?
Yeah, he's just carrier in disguise. That's what we've learned. But this is just such a smooth and comfortable draft for Nongshim. They have accepted their Rise Group position. Let's see whether it works. Wow, that Hanwha chant was explosive. But here we are. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. We are onto the Rift for game number 1. Already, HLE making their way out to see whether they can cause a ruckus here, get some wards down. As Sponge unable to kill that one.
And with our east side Rise Group confirmed Nongshim, is for many of our east side Rise Group, likely Rise Group team members. Are you familiar with the acronym KISS?
Keep it simple, stupid.
Yes, but that's very rude, and I don't like to say things like that to our professional players.
Keep it special, Sally?
No, I'm keeping it to a new acronym we can call for these types of drafts called KISSERG. Keep it simple, Rise Group. KISSERG. It really rolls off the tongue. I feel like it's quite a great thing we can do in the future to sum up these types of comps.
I might stick with the KISS thing as, okay, that's a flash from bluffing. He really wasn't bluffing.
But they get such a huge health advantage from this.
Oh, Guma. Yeah, you better flash, Lahens. He knew what was coming.
That was a great flash, even though initially it's like, oh, he's down flash. But what they got from it was 100% worth it. And now Diablo playing with fire here. Good sidestep.
Yeah, able to get out of the way of the Deadly Flourish. Very important that he did so, though, and is now just going to be eating some of that cocoa. Guma feeling right at home, as it is Carrier's skin that Bluffing is using. He is out of summoner spells now. That might be something they can capitalize on. The thing is, so is Nongshim. They have nothing left outside of a flash from Diablo. And yeah, this is where I have some concerns for HLE. Yes, you know, Kanavi's probably our best in Zhao. Zeka is probably our best Akali. Don't debate that. They don't have much CC.
No.
At all.
And that's always my issue with Akali.
You need a bit of setup, do you not?
Yeah, the setup you need for a Jhin is usually a little bit hard to set up. Diablo
just stands his ground and kills it. That's Bluffing the locks down first blood, but Diablo, what was that?
Yeah, I don't really
And not in
understand,
the Doa talking about Faker kind of way.
I don't really understand because there was a lot of damage there. Bard does a lot of damage in lane, and also Emilio, not known for the same sort of thing. Known for a little bit more small CC, small poking, sometimes healing.
Yeah.
Well, that really ruins a lot of this early game here for Nongshim, where they really wanted to get the solution off the ground. We've had a few games of Guma recently as well, like his Raven game, where that's just not working out for him. But in this game, He is shutting the Lucian out in a huge way with Bluffing's help there. Both of Bluffing's plays, the initial flash to get the health trade advantage, and then this one here, are just coming up big. The guy he looks good.
I still don't really know what Diablo thought was going to happen there. That was where I was running into some problems. But, maybe he knew something that I didn't. And as it turns out, he didn't know it because he died. Zeus is now fighting against Kingen. Gully Wall goes up. And he's still fighting. Does have that Q, and Kingen's having to flash away.
Almost feels like Zeus, if he had a little bit more damage, could have flashed as well. But yeah, this is not what they want. The level up's going to be huge.
This Jinbad situation is a little bit of a worry for Nongshim. Still only that 1 kill, but it's a 600 gold advantage. Scout, I mean, he's just playing Annie. He's fine. But Diablo is still, he's living on 200 health. That Deadly Flourish is going to go wide, but Bluffing is just chasing after Diablo. The flash in! Bluffing is likely to go down, and now Diablo, I mean, he's dead, right? Yeah, Zeka should be able to come on over and at least guarantee that kill. Wanting to deny the assist, and it is going to come through.
So close to getting Zeka further ahead. Instead, his roam is worthless. He is way dropped so many. Like, I don't even... He left so long ago. Yeah. He really wanted a hard force, but I thought, ow. That's not what he likes. But I thought with the advantages that didn't go over there to the side of Nongshim, like, it was really well played by Diablo. I thought he was just going to turn around. Look at where he is on the main right now. He's pinged, by the way. So that's why Diablo is like, I think we got to go in here. And Bluffing pushes forward. Double flashes on him. Guma cannot fall up. He only has 1 shot, right? So yeah, he does end up getting the 4th shot, but it's not enough damage. And then Zeka comes down here and he denies the assist. So he makes Zeka even spend more time to get nothing. So even though Diablo's lane is in a real bad spot, he got a kill and he wasted Zeka's time. So, ultimately kind of feels like a net positive slightly for Nongshim.
A net not as negative.
Yeah, it doesn't solve the bottom lane problem, but it gives your Annie a little bit of an edge.
There you go. Globally, not as terrible as it could have been. There we go. And look, they are able to get the out here.
Global over here.
Exactly.
That's what we like.
Globally, that's what we're focused on. Kanavi coming down towards his bottom side, though, as it's a 3v3. Make that a 2v3, but Kanavi's still going in, obviously. And by 3, I mean almost 4, as the decoy was involved. Zeka moving down once again, but isn't going to be able to find an angle. As Scout no teleport, but is able to walk his way back towards this mid lane.
So, looking a little bit locally better this time, in fact.
Yeah.
For Nongshim.
I would say also somewhat globally improved.
Yes.
They have just kind of tidied things up. They've got themselves a little bit of a gold lead now.
Now they're going to start off the Drake. Yeah, they get a dragon here. Scout, no stun, but actually just kind of chilling. Should be a free dragon. It is going to be spotted by Bluffing. Yep. But nothing he can do about this.
And it will just be Kanavi trying to answer as best he can elsewhere.
Zeka does not have teleport, so this was likely a plate to Scout here in the exchange.
And he's so far ahead.
Zeka's roam really cost him big in this lane. As you can see the difference in items here.
Yeah, and it actually reminds me of what happened to Showmaker in our last game, right? Oh God, Zeka could almost just be dead. Oh, it's a 2v1. I mean, it's not very fair. Tibbers and Annie. As now Kanavi going to walk down the red carpet. Yeah, he's pretty famous, but that's going to do a fair bit of damage. Does have to use the Crescent Guard in order to keep himself alive. His Sponge. He wanted to find an angle there, but does not quite get it. When becomes lightning to slow him down.
Such a classic Kanavi. Things aren't going well on the other side. I'm going to take their Krugs.
Yeah, and he took their red as well. He was making sure that he punished Sponge for taking that dragon. As Kingen dealing with the Maiden here. As Zeus is not afraid of anything on this yard.
No, and I don't think he should be yet. Or ever, maybe.
Yeah. Oblivion Orb tech is kind of cute from Kingen.
Yeah, no, we've seen this a few times. It does feel really nice into Yorick. Can allow you to have these more extended trades without just getting out-sustained. I look at this game state now feeling like... Sure, okay, Kingen?
Flash Ghoulie Wall from Zeus. As Wind becomes lightning, Kingen becomes dead, and HLE become in the lead.
Well, it's Kanavi, so you think you're done with him, but you shouldn't because he's never done until the job is finished. And so he comes back and gets the kill there on the top side. Well, I was going to say right before this that I felt like the game state really favored Nongshim's ability to get this Lucian online and have a power game in the power phase in the mid game where they're getting this Lucian through the mid lane, putting the harass on Guma. Uh-oh.
Well, let's see what happens here. Zeka is down here once again. The fadeaway culling. Zeka is going to be denied, but Diablo, let's see whether he can get out of this one. The alcove, he cannot jump out of that. As never mind. They're going to turn it around. The teleport in from Scout, and Sponge is on his way down as well. Zeka's hit by a bear, and he wants to desperately make it to the turret, but he's not going to be able to do so. Diablo is going to live, and they're going to take some plates for their trouble.
And Guma is not going to be able to farm right now as, well, maybe he can actually get to that turret. Bluffing does not have level 6. As we're going to see another equalizer here for Kingen.
Not my favorite.
That was kind of weird.
Do we have Huni?
Huni will have some opinions about that, I think.
Yeah, I was wondering whether he's like sitting on the space or anything like that, whether he could give us an expression or two. Because it was not my favorite.
Yeah, I'm not always like 100% on board with space pips, but I'm down with it with Huni in this situation. But watch this kick from Lehens. Watch Zeka tries to flash it, and he fails it. Lehens gets him with the kick. Well, Zeka was 100% predicting that, but that's one of the big difference makers here because it buys just enough space for this teleport here. It's a turtle port from Scout to get down. He has the stun. The bear drop is real, and Sponge is just kind of calculating whether he needs to go in here or not. Does ultimately go in, but doesn't use his Cyclone, and they help pick up the kill. So
he's not here.
That's how he feels about it.
That's actually how he feels about it. I think that's pretty accurate. Yeah, I think he probably was too disgusted he needed to go and you know, buy a drink from the vending machine or something like that.
I can just imagine who's voice is, not for the ghoulie wall, it's not how you use it.
You cannot burn the ghoul.
It doesn't even work.
Yeah. In Zelda it does, though. Isn't fire actually pretty good?
Yes.
Never mind. Sponge going to have to flash out of said ghoulie wall. And there's the Cyclone that he saved earlier. Throws down the Q, and that is a dead Zeus. Wolf,
do you remember
sometimes the Rise tech works.
Do you remember that game we had earlier today where I was like, this one team has a comp that isn't really a comp, but like they really like the champions?
Yeah.
I feel like I'm just watching that again here. And the other team has a real comp. And the other team is Nongshim. And, okay, Scout may have to flash.
Yeah, Kanavi still exists.
No, he got the stun, though.
There we go. Diablo does get deadly flourished this time around, as the culling is going to be the answer. Gumayushi actually walking aggressively. Tempered Fate will be able to buy the space here for Guma. Bluffing actually playing that one well, but Diablo is just going to kill Guma anyway, and he's done with it. Going to give the kill over to the Bard as Zeus had teleported in, but isn't able to claim the Lucian.
So he kills the enemy AD carry, denies the kill to Guma, and they get the teleport out of Zeus. So now the Yorick is teleportless, and it's replay gold to Kingen.
This is one of the best played, catastrophically losing lanes I've seen from a Lucian player.
Yeah, he's actually having a great time. And Bluffing, not so much. They're trying to turn the favor of that battle with the ultimate, but Jin still not able to get to his full shots, not able to fire during the stasis.
Man,
and Nongshim are like
series of events.
It feels like they've stolen a pretty nice tempo advantage in this early game that their comp was supposed to get, but now has.
Yeah, I feel like Nongshim aren't doing the pretty thing; they're doing the practical thing.
Yeah,
you know, they're killing the champions and winning the battles. They aren't killing this dragon though, by the looks of things, unless Sponge has something to say about it. Going to see whether he can get in here. Scout moving his way over as well as Warrior Trickster is on in. Lahen's going to get taken down as the equalizer just onto Gumayushi, and that will be enough to take him down. In the meantime, though, HLE just kind of wrecking them.
Diablo's got scuttle speed. He is going to get out. Well,
oh dear, in goes Zeka looking for an angle here onto the Lucian. He's out of his shroud and he just gets wiped out. And now Kingen's going to lumber on over. The culling working like a typewriter, but isn't actually able to hit onto Kanavi and Zeus, and they have to vacate. Sponge is able to pick up the Drake. Oh my goodness. Rise Group Tech, baby, it's working.
This game starts to feel like it's very quickly approaching its end if this continues to happen. Like, it's only one kill the advantage to Nongshim, but they have 1,500 gold the lead, and this Lucian and Annie are so huge that, like, I don't know what to say. Now, this is just going very far back to the earlier play down here on the bottom side. Diablo dashes forward, gets half of Guma's health bar. It does not sidestep the flourish, but it doesn't really matter that much because he actually has the damage to go forward here. They also know that this teleport is coming through, so it's in Diablo's best interest to get the kill and use everything for it because it's a one-way ticket.
Yeah, he thought about that so incredibly quickly, by the way. And he was like, I'm gonna die.
Sponge is like, okay, this is looking a little messy. Okay, speaking of messy, that's not Lionel.
No, that is a dead Annie. Tibbers follows suit, but we're not going to show that.
Okay, I'm not sure what happened up there, but
I think Scout died.
Yes. I just don't know how the lead up to that happened.
Oh, it's not important. That's not what we're about here.
Okay, well, the replays do happen. We do kind of, like, sometimes we're like, I don't really want to know, and the replay is like, well, here's what happened.
This is one of those games where it's either we show the replay or we show the game.
Yeah. It's 14 kills in 14 minutes.
Kill a minute ain't bad. We take those.
They're like, hold on, wait for bluffing. Is he staying? We're going to wait on that replay? Okay, it's fine.
Oh, we're back to the other replay, though.
Okay, so this Cyclone here is Zeka's undoing. This is why I don't like Akali and Wukong, because you just kind of go, oh, you're in your shroud? Oh, spin through it.
Yeah.
And, yeah, you know, it's just a greed. Okay. Scout has been very deep in side lanes this year.
Yeah.
Like, sometimes I'm like, you don't need to proxy the wave. You don't know where anybody is.
I mean, he got the plate. Maybe he said worth. If you said it in all chat, then we cannot deny it.
As over here, we do see a bit of an invade into the jungle from Sponge because they had that push on the bottom side. I don't know if this is going to amount to too much.
Yeah, look at Diablo's here.
Okay.
He's going to walk into the Crescent Guard. Now it's Kanavi and Zeus, and they're going to turn this into a gank onto King. Kind of crazy.
They're going to turn it into
top lane.
First brick from Life Esports, I think. Okay, there's the equalizer placement.
Yeah, it was actually quite cute. Zeus is going to get taken down here. Kanavi is in a lot of trouble there as well. Finds Sponge, and the smite comes through. That is going to keep Kanavi alive, at least for the moment. And Scout, he's got a bear, and he is not afraid to use it. As Kanavi relegated to turret, seems to be a thing this game, and he will be taken out here. The turret does get taken from Zeka. We do also have a Jhin running amok in the mid lane. The Nongshim will be able to take this one and 2 kills.
So it kind of feels like, how do I quantify this? So what I think is happening in this game,
okay,
which is all theoretical, of course.
Yeah, please take me through it.
So at this point, like, they decide they want to make that top side play happen. There's nobody up there. They're like, okay, you guys just buy time. And this forces a reaction from Scout, right? Like, he's like, okay, I've got to come down here because Guma's backed away. He doesn't have anything he can do. And this play is going to get extended. Bluffing comes back over. They know this. And Zeka's just like, just buy time. I'm so far behind. Like, we played the funny game in the early parts. And so now I need money. So can you guys just, like, do anything you can to buy me all this time to get an extra wave or two, the whole turret? We got first brick. And then Guma's also like, I'm pushing. And we've seen so many HLE games where their early game goes a little bit awry. Some of the Kanavi dives go a little bit too deep, and then it's like you look at the minimap, and Guma is killing a turret as Jhin.
Yeah.
And Zeka, depending on what champion he's on, is killing a turret or a side lane or somewhere else. And yeah, it just feels like this is the same sort of story. The Akali is behind, but still, because of all that extra money she has, in a pretty stable spot here for a mid-game team fight.
Yeah, only 400 gold is not really end of the world or anything like that. Scout is still going to be very strong and does have his Malignance now online, but with the Gunblade, I don't know whether Diablo is exactly going to be the safest Lucian on the map right now, although he is the only Lucian on the map, so I guess he probably always will be. Gumayushi comes on over looking to try and defend this and will be able to do so. That plate will be denied. And there is now a dragon coming up in 27 seconds time. I think that's probably going to be the next thing that we're looking out for, but HLE were able to take the Rift Herald, and so Kanavi can throw that one down and will do so immediately. He's not a man to waste time, is he?
No, not really. He is going to come over here and set this one up. They're going to see a defensive TP here from King, and
all right, I think
they're going to try their best.
Oh, Sponge is getting over here. Magical Journey not going to be taken. That's an equalizer.
It is. It's right there on the ground. At least that's what it looks like.
Yeah, thanks, Wolf, for the confirmation. I wasn't entirely sure because it was weirdly timed.
And weirdly placed, but they got the prio from it. It's not going to have any combat power in the Dragon, and they're spending a lot of time. And how Life Esports is just out-macroing them again, and they're going to make first turret into second turret in the top lane, and now they've got TP.
Teleport. Okay, so Zeus manages to take the turret, like he was talking about. Brings the Maiden down here as well, as Nongshim setting up on this one. There's a flank angle from Zeka as well, as Bluffing takes the world's shortest magical journey. And Zeus' health bar is gigantic with that extra shield. As Deadly Flourish connects onto Scout. They're looking to try and peer in for any vision, as the curtains have been now called. Let's see whether Kanavi can get on over here as Zeka turns up. That's going to be the secure of Soul Point, but Zeka gets in, and the perfect execution takes down the Annie. The backflip is not going to be enough, but it's Diablo getting so much of the damage down. Will get stunned up here as Gumayushi is trying to keep himself alive. Kanavi's very dead though, and Diablo is on the warpath. No Ghoulie Wall will stop him, although that one, it did a pretty good job.
I think he's still in prime position to kill Zeus here, although...
Yeah, Morning Mist comes down, and there is the Ardent Blaze. And he will be able to pick this one up with a Light Slinger. There it goes. Diablo 7-3-3 after that early game.
Yeah, he's pretty good. We knew it. We've always known it. But with this comp, it gets pretty simple. Speaking of simple, I think Life Esports wish their comp were, because it's very tricky. They start off with the Jhin ultimate here. They're trying to push on the Scout. And then look at this collapse attempt from Zeka. He gets the kill, escapes, but the rest of the fight is in tatters because they're just walking into a choke point to Kingan's Q. He does so much damage and puts up the shield and takes Kanavi out of this fight. And now they're a Jhin comp. This is my favorite thing to say this season. Every time Life Esports lose the Jhin fight, you're like, well, Guma's positioning was great, but he can't do more here, actually. He did everything he could have in that fight, and they're just going to lose it. It's 1,500 gold now behind.
And it's not the end of the world, Wolf, but there's almost a Mountain Soul.
It's like the comp that has great team fighting power and a little bit of side lane pressure with the Yorick is just not team fighting well, but killing all the structures. But eventually you will need to win team fights, especially now that Nongshim have 3-dragon Mountain Soul point against you. You have no dragons, so you're going to see some better team fighting. It's very difficult, though, again, with this comp that wants to do a little bit more side laning and pushing that way with this Yorick.
And it's a multi-threat comp out of Nongshim as well. They have 4 champions that do decent damage, especially when Sponge is as fed as he is, right? He's 8 KDA right now, looking real good, and 2 items completed. So he is a real threat. And HLE, I don't think they'll be able to out-damage them if they get a Mountain Soul in this game.
I just think that, like, for Zeka, if he dies because he's pushing up too far, then the fight is over every time. But if he, plays it like he did last time, but Kingan is melting all of Kanavi's health and Zeus' health for free, that also can't happen. And there's just a lot of things that can go wrong in team fights, as we saw there. Zeka is in a fine spot, technically ahead, but it's not like he's the one who's sitting on 4 kills, 5 kills. It's not like he could just carry this alone and just delete Diablo. Diablo actually might kill him with how big he is when he goes in, so he has to be very careful. He needs follow-up. Like, Bluffing needs to be getting into the thick of things. I think they really need to, as best as they can, figure out a way to draw Sponge away and then kill Diablo. I know that sounds silly, and, like, how could that happen? But they need to sort of figure it out. Maybe using Zeus in the side lane pressure could pull the Wukong there to try to get a gank, and then they make something happen on mid with Kanavi instead. Something like that, I think, needs to happen if HLE are going to get back into this game. It's only 1,200 gold to lead, but there are a lot of problems with their composition. It's not easy to execute, as here's a TP from Scout behind.
All right, looking for that angle. Oh, man, Sponge is so ready for this Cyclone. Throws it out, and Kanavi, I mean, this is the Dusk and Dawn build. He is not tanky at all. The culling is going to be thrown down preemptively, but Kanavi healing up so incredibly much. He gets out of the way, and the curtains, they've been called as well. Diablo's able to take down Zeus, though, and Zeka is soon to follow. Lahen's just healing everyone up, keeping them away from death's door. And Nongshim will come out ahead, even though it was looking a little more difficult than I expected.
Yeah, it's very tricky for Scout to get the multi-man stun there because he doesn't have vision, but he knows where they are, generally speaking. And Kanavi becomes the presented target, as we're going to have to go into live, though. Kingan's getting collapsed.
Oh, dear. Yeah, Kingan might be able to take Kanavi with him, and he does! All right. That was pretty clean, as now Sponge is just going to... Well, I guess you don't need me. As they do go 1 for 1.
That's pretty unfortunate timing. I mean, Kanavi will be up, but he's going to have to run straight to this dragon. As we'll try replay attempt number 2, where Kanavi gets most of his health bar blown up, and then you see Bluffing try to help him, but because he's trying to save Kanavi, and like you said, the healing was pretty absurd, he doesn't have his ultimate for the fight here where he really needs it. As, like, again, Guma's doing everything right, but his team is just into this awkward state where he can't really do more. Like, he's doing his ultimate, he's doing a lot of damage from far away, he's very safe. And then Kingen, we just saw this, but
Yeah.
yes, he presses Q towards Kanavi and then clicks on him and he dies because he's really big.
He is. And he also denies a whole bunch of that healing as well, which is pretty impressive. So Kingen, very scary. 2 seconds on the Mountain Soul. Nongshim have control of the area, as you mentioned. Kanavi was dead, but so is Zeus, most likely, as the second Cyclone will get rid of him. Kanavi is now in such a terrible position. Guru and Bluffing are moving on over, but Nongshim, I think they've done what they needed to do to guarantee the Mountain Soul.
Unless we see some sort of steal here from Kanavi, who's flashless right now.
How does he get into the pit?
I mean, they could just equalize the choke point.
Yeah, Diablo is just going to throw down the culling, and that Deadly Flourish is not going to make that one work. Guma has stolen dragons before, but Sponge is putting himself in the way. Kanavi goes in, he gets the steal! And the Crescent Guard is going to come through, but
that might be
still
Baron,
definitely going to die. And yeah, he got the steal, Wolf.
Yeah,
but
the
game
steal
may still be over.
We still call it a Phantom steal if it's probably not worth? I don't know. But I gotta say, this Baron will happily be taken by Nongshim, as Bluffing does have his ultimate here to try to mess this up. Let's see if Nongshim can split a little bit here.
All right, can Kanavi do it again from the Death Chamber? That's the question. Gumayushi coming on over here as well. Tempered Fate goes in. The Equalizer makes it very difficult to approach, though, as this is looking awkward, honestly, for Nongshim. Kingan's still in the back of the pit, does have his flash available, does use it now to get over the wall. It will be the secure on the Baron for Nongshim, and down goes Zekka immediately afterwards, and now Diablo has been unleashed. He doesn't have any buttons left to press outside of the ones that he just has in his kit. The summoners are now down as Gumayushi still running for the hills. Scout running pretty quickly as well. The flash forward from Sponge. The magical journey going to be taken by all of Nongshim as Diablo with a celebratory culling comes on forward. Kanavi, he shows up just to die. And Nongshim, this is one heck of a Rebel Baron power play already.
I think they may have just won the game. And I think this draft from HLE was a little bit disrespectful. I would say the opposite of respectful.
Yeah.
But the gameplay, extremely bold as well. Like, so many of these fights they've been trying to take are force come at such a heavy cost. Like, Zeus here has no information. It's a great control ward setup here. Scout has to flash away, but he's done his job. Right, and they get 2 kills here eventually when Kanavi decides to go in. And we're going to highlight his steal here. But was this decision correct? Like, will they even celebrate this moment? The answer is no, because they know the Baron is just gone. Now, they play this pretty well. Bluffing is able to actually split the team with his ultimate, but this comp doesn't have the damage it needs here. It doesn't have a front line or backbone with the Xin dead. And you can see Zekka's trying to get stuff done here. Like, he even tries to go for the ult steal there on the Baron, but just such a terrible game state for them, and the comp doesn't work super well together, especially not from behind. And now they're like 6,000 gold, I would imagine, behind post-Baron. It's a disaster here.
Yeah. And
draft matters, it really does.
It's really important. And you were mentioning it. I'd forgotten what your acronym was.
Kizerg. Keep it simple, Rise Group.
Yeah.
Kizerg.
Kizerg. Yeah, Kizerg is one heck of a strategy, and Nongshim have utilized it absolutely beautifully. Equalizer goes down. That's to get them away from this inhibitor turret. As Nongshim, they've taken away 2 extra turrets so far. Kanavi going in. I don't know whether it was exactly the best move as he gets his health bar halved, and now another minion wave will conga line forward. Goalie wall immediately just disintegrates, as the fire kick actually working out pretty well at the same time. Nongshim will be able to break open the base here on this bottom side. And Humble Life Esports are kind of reeling. There is the curtain call as the Tempered Fate is going to lock Kingen in position. Sponge, decent sidestep, but the Milio is so high value in these moments. And Zeus is just dead. Nothing he can really do about it. Diablo is frontlining. And Zekka, can you find an angle to save this game is the question. Diablo dashing forward into Nexus turrets might help him out, but I think he's able to do so. I think he's just able to play with this level of reckless abandon.
Yeah, I mean, Kingen also kind of walked into the Tempered Fate, but it's almost like he wanted them to try to get on top of him with how big
he's
he
like,
is.
free Zhonya's? Heck yeah.
Zekka...
Yeah, Diablo's dead. Really, really dead.
Yeah, Zekka baited them pretty hard, but Kanavi will sacrifice himself for this. A Scout?
What? He gives him an audacious charge target? What the hell was that? Okay, well, now Sponge is trying to escape. Zekka goes in, immediately goes out. Guardian Angel is going to get procced as Nongshim Guys, we were saying keep it simple, not whatever this is. This is crazy. As Bluffing is chasing after him, Sponge, he will have a Warrior Trickster relatively soon as he gets a shield from Lehens, and they should be able to get themselves out. Harpoons should be handy in that regard.
You know, sometimes
Yes.
my nearly 11-month-old daughter will put like a block or a small bead into a box or a cube,
Yeah.
and then it'll rattle around and she'll look at me like, I did the thing, right, Daddy? And I'll clap. And then she'll do it again, and I'm like, all right, well, we already did it, you know?
Yeah.
I kind of feel like that's how I feel about it when she also sometimes puts an Annie into the back line to try to stun a prio target.
Yeah.
I'm like, the first time she does it, I'm like, all right, cool. I clap for her. Second time, I'm like, all right, let's play with the books now.
Yeah.
And I think that maybe that's what Nongshim need to do right now.
I think just like turning around and leaving would have been a really
Scout
good
is
move.
like, I'm supposed to get to the back line. I'm supposed to get those high prio targets. And it's now the Dragon is live here.
Yeah, that is another Mountain Soul opportunity here as Kanavi is down to very low health, and he is not contesting this one. The gold lead did actually fall just a little bit here.
Mountain
as
Soul.
the Drake will now be taken. Nongshim are poised to win game one.
Yeah, they are in such a strong position even after
Look
what
at
was a bit
Diablo's
of a
items,
fumble.
by the way.
Yeah, unless you're a Hanwha fan.
Well, Gumayushi, when the culling finally hit him, it did a lot of work. And this turret is not long for the world.
TP here, desperate.
That is going to be Zeus immediately taken down, and the Relentless Pursuit's going to be there for Diablo to get out of the way of the Tempered Fate. Gumayushi just trying to take some pot shots and reload around, but it's just not really working out here as HLE. Oh, the double stun from Scout gets him in there. Kanavi goes down. They do take out Diablo. That is a lot of the damage now removed, but it's only Zekra and Bluffing left alive. Kingen is still there with all the damage he represents. The rest of Nongshim will be able to take down this game number one. And Diablo may not be in the picture, but my goodness, is he the MVP for this one? He was so incredibly aggressive in this game.
It's insane, the turnaround from Diablo and crew. They had the draft that had the ease of execution, but not for Diablo. He was the one who had to work for it. He was the one who had to get it done in the bottom lane. But
no, they
not
did
because
such
of this
a good
game.
job. They
not
did a
because
great
of this
job.
game, though. Yeah, no, it's not Bluffing's fault in this game, all right?
It was whoever decided to put these 5 champions together that just did not really work.
오케이 이거. 야, 다이버 박자, 다이버 박자.
해봐줘.
스턴.
아칼리 개피.
천천히. 라인.
실드 2초.
살짝 물리마오. 끝이다.
얘들아, 우리 라인이 없다.
진서플 한번 볼게, 이거 천천히.
나 이퀄 10초.
오케이. 야, 다음 라인 기다려.
싸워줘. 괜찮아.
나 이퀄 2초.
들어가 볼게. 라인 넣으면 이겨. 타워 쳐 얘들아.
타워.
괜찮아.
가자.
아칼리 잡자. 나이스. 잘했다.
나이스. 한번 들어보자.
우리 바텀이 사고 났네.